Hey, let's hang. How's it going, fam? I hope that you're doing well. If not, let's just hang for a minute and see if we can chill. So this is a new series I want to do on this new channel, but I feel like a lot of people talk about Neville Goddard and the power of awareness, and I kind of want to start going over this book, but I'm looking for a bookmark. But I want to include commentary and actually go over this, because I feel like some things kind of get lost. You know what I mean? Most of these chapters are pretty darn short, and we'll just do a chapter per video. Agreed? That sounds fair enough, right? So if you've been hearing a lot about Neville Goddard and or the law of assumption, the law of attraction, manifestations and such, the power of awareness is the book of his that tends to be like, if someone's on a budget and they want to just get one book so they can get the main gist of things, this is it. It's not the first that he did, but it's also not the last. Like I said, the chapters are nice and short generally, and it makes it easy to just kind of run through and do commentary and just go over the book itself. And as far as him, and he had a daughter, right? As far as they were concerned, there shouldn't be a paywall. There shouldn't be a pay gate. Like, this information should be available to anyone, because it is about everyone and our minds and how our perception controls everything. So if you're new to this channel, hi, so is everybody else. At the time of filming, this channel is very new, and so I might as well introduce this kind of series and such on here now while I'm at it. What do you say? Chapter 1 is simply called I Am. We're going to start with a quote from Ephesians, or however it's pronounced, 5:13. All things, when they are admitted, are made manifest by the light. For everything that is made manifest is light. So, the light is consciousness. Consciousness is one, manifesting in legions of forms or levels of consciousness. There is no one that is not all that is, for consciousness, though expressed in an infinite series of levels, is not divisional. Like, you're conscious, right? You may have your different thoughts and parts of your brain that are for different things, but your consciousness, your focus, that's just like your consciousness, right? There is no real separation or gap in consciousness. I am cannot be divided. I may conceive myself to be a rich man, a poor man, a beggar man, or a thief, but the center of my being remains the same, regardless of the concept I hold of myself, right? Regardless of what I think of myself, I am. That's the base, right? At the center of manifestation, there is only one I am, manifesting in legions of forms or concepts of itself, and I am that I am, right? I am is the self-definition of the absolute, the foundation on which everything rests. I am is the first cause substance. I am is the self-definition of God. I am that I am. I am hath sent me unto you. Exodus 3:14. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. I am is a feeling of permanent awareness. The very center of consciousness is the feeling of I am, right? I may forget who I am, where I am, what I am, but I cannot forget I am, right? If you're conscious, you're conscious, period. The awareness of being remains, regardless of the degree of forgetfulness of who, where, and what I am. I am is that which, amid unnumbered forms, is ever the same. This great discovery of cause reveals that, good or bad, man is actually the arbiter of his own fate, and that it is his concept of himself that determines the world in which he lives, and his concept of himself is his reactions to life. In other words, if you are experiencing ill health, knowing the truth about cause, you cannot attribute the illness to anything other than to the particular arrangement of the basic cause substance, an arrangement which was produced by your reactions to life and is defined by your concept, I am unwell. This is why you are told, let the weak man say, I am strong, Joel 3:10. For by his assumption, the cause substance, I am, is rearranged and must therefore manifest that which its rearrangement affirms. This principle governs every aspect of your life, be it social, financial, intellectual, or spiritual. I am is that reality to which, whatever happens, we must turn for an explanation of the phenomena of life. It is I am's concept of itself that determines the form and scenery of its existence. Everything depends upon its attitude towards itself. That which it will not affirm as true of itself cannot awaken in this world. That is, your concept of yourself, such as I am strong, I am secure, I am loved, determines the world in which you live. In other words, when you say, I am a man, I am a father, I am an American, you are not defining different I ams. You are defining different concepts or arrangements of the one cause substance, the one I am. Even in the phenomena of nature, if the tree were to articulate, it would say, I am a tree, an apple tree, a fruitful tree. When you know that consciousness is the one and only reality, conceiving itself to be something good, bad, or indifferent, and becoming that which it conceives itself to be, you are free from the tyranny of second causes, free from the belief that there are causes outside of your own mind that can affect your life. In the state of consciousness of the individual is found the explanation of the phenomena of life. If man's concept of himself were different, everything in his world would be different. His concept of himself being what it is, everything in his world must be as it is. Thus, it is abundantly clear that there is only one I am, and you are that I am. And while I am is infinite, you, by your concept of yourself, are displaying only a limited aspect of the infinite I am. Then we have a quote to finish this chapter. Build thee more stately mansions, O my soul, as the swift seasons roll. Leave thy low vaulted past. Let each new temple, nobler than the last, shut thee from heaven with a dome more vast, till thou at length are free, leaving thine outgrown shell by life's unresting sea. Oliver Wendell Holmes Sr., The Chambered Nautilus. So I get a little nervous when it comes to, like, you know, the illness and stuff like that. Because some of us, whether something happens in our lives or we're born that way, like I was born, like you may have noticed by now if you've watched any of my other videos that my ears are a little different, right? As a child, I already had a bit of plastic surgery, cosmetic type surgery on this ear, but there's no hole. So like I can't really wear earbuds because you know, the nerves, I want to say they're supposed to be strung up along your jaw, but they're all like bundled up here. So technically when I'm wearing headphones, if I have things cranked up, I can hear through here. But if someone's talking to me to my right, I may or may not hear them depending on how much they're projecting their voice. If that loud ass furnace is going, it means it's cold in here because I turned that shit down so that we would not get it, but we got it. So reality, my friends. It still works. Thank goodness we are still technically in winter. You know what I mean? I think that how I attribute that aspect is, you know, sometimes we're raised to believe that there's something wrong with us when really there's nothing wrong with us. Where's that difference between a child who is born with so-called deformities or disabilities, right? Where's the difference between being there for that child and inspiring and supporting that child and raising them to think there's really something wrong with them? That's two different childhoods, right? A true, loving, unconditional support system, and those who they only know pain, they only know misery, because that's what they were raised on, right? We have too many people who, I feel like most of us when we're kids and it's happening to us, it's like, I would never. But then you grow up and now you're the parent, and how many people still end up doing it, right? Because it's what you know. What if you were able to know differently? It's that concept of self that is the best trajectory for the rest of your life than anything your parents did. That's why I'm into affirmations and meditation and yeah, even subliminal videos, because to me that's taking control of my subconscious. It's taking control of what neural pathways I'm creating and nourishing. Does that make it? At least that's how I take it. How do you consider it differently? I mean, he's just going to spend the entire book going over it. Hopefully this at least helps. You know, not all of us want to just sit down with a book. Hopefully something like this can help. And like I said, we'll go over every chapter together. And sometimes I'll have more commentary than other videos, right? Sometimes I'll just let Neville tell it and be like, you know, I feel like that's good. It's good. It's solid. Otherwise, I think my French fries are done. Have a wonderful day. If this is your first time finding this channel, thanks for hanging out with me and sharing your time with me. It means a lot to me. And either way, I hope that the rest of your day is incredible. And maybe there's a new perspective going on. Right? Thanks for hanging, fam. I'll see you next time.